Get a life, nerd.
Hey guys, Alkali Lake here, and today I'm taking you inside my house. I'm going to share with you my top tips for taking a home and adding all your nerdy touches to it that you love, but still keeping it classy. So, are you ready to see? Okay, so when you first walk into my house, I want the impression to be homey and that you feel comfortable here and that nothing jumps out too nerdy at you because you know what? Us nerds are comfortable with ourselves, but some people just get freaked out. So I just wanted the entry space to my home to be very appealing to a large amount of people because I really like to entertain and I love to have people over. And you know what? This channel is all about nerding up and leveling up. So as we get older, how we still keep the nerdiness to our lifestyle, but maybe make some changes here and there to reflect where our lives are going. So we'll turn around here. And I have my ring light all set up because I'll do some recording here in the living room. So just, pretty boring kind of space, I guess. There is my kitchen. I need to clean it, but I didn't go too nuts with you guys. I'm not trying to fake anything here. There's homework on the counter and it looks like a half-eaten burger, I guess. I mean, it's life. So I'll come around here. And then we get my dining room area. And as you can see, there's no large amount of nerdiness that jumps out at you. But if you look closely, you'll find it. And I'm going to point it out for you. So one of my first hacks for you on how to make your home look classy yet still be nerdy is books. Books are a really good way to dress up the home, and I love coffee table books. And I got the idea from, of course, a ton of Pinterest pages that have all these beautiful hardbound books piled up on coffee tables. And I thought, you know what a great conversation starter, when friends come over to talk about us being nerdy, then to have, well, let's just pull one up off the top for you. This is a great coffee table book. World of Warcraft Ultimate Visual Guides. So visual books, graphic novels are really great things to have on your coffee table that can represent your nerdiness without being over the top. Now again, this channel is about leveling up as nerds, and I think the moment I determined I needed to start maybe trying to reel it back a little bit is when Manfred got to the age and got to a point in his career where we started maybe thinking about having coworkers come over and, what if the boss comes over? Is he gonna think that Manfred is, the type that's gonna, be the person he wants to hire for that raise? I don't know. These situations haven't really happened yet, but they could. And so I'm just trying to think what's a way I can make my home seem open and inviting, but not take all the nerdiness out. So I love having these World of Warcraft books right in the main sitting area, and they're fun. And people who aren't familiar with it really like to look at the art. It's super cool. Okay, so now we're here in the bathroom, and it's one of my favorite places for some of my nerd art because I have May the Force be with you. So when people come over to my house for the first time, they typically love that art because it's just different. It's not something that you usually see, and they often ask why I didn't choose to hang it over the toilet, but I usually tell them that that's not necessary. The joke usually comes across anyway. So yeah, a little Star Wars humor for you. May the Force be with you. We're gonna switch the video around for this as I take you around the corner to show you my office space. There's some artwork there from Little Girl. You can't take out those influences. Those are important too. So around the corner here, we come into my office. I love modern stuff. Please pardon the paint not being done. I'm just marking where the paint needs to go so I don't forget. And we're in the middle of remodeling, so the baseboards aren't in yet. But outside of that, here's an area in my office. It's very modern. I love taking modern elements and adding some old elements too. and putting something nerdy in here. So can you spot it? That's right. So I Love You, I know, is from Star Wars, and we have some great memories here. This is some of our best friends, and this is from our very first dance, I think, like forever ago. So yeah, there is some Star Wars influence there. And I love the tech table because this is where phones can get plugged in during dinner, or iPads or Kindles when you just need to disconnect and spend time together as a family. Now, I don't want you guys to think that these are the only nerdy elements in my home. I have my entire nerd escape upstairs. I'm basically hiding, hold on, I gotta turn this camera around. I'm basically hiding all of our nerd stuff upstairs because it is a lot. And as I was telling you earlier, not everybody can handle that. So I love my space when people walk in to be warm and inviting. I'm gonna keep saying that because I think a lot of people just don't know how to handle like toys and video games, and some people grow up and they grow up too much. So this channel is just all about leveling up and keeping that wonder, keeping that nerddom, your fandom, and letting it be in your life still, but having like good places for it in your home. So I'm gonna make another video showing you like the nerd room. This particular video, again, I just keep saying it, is gonna be out how to add little touches of your nerddom to your home. So number 3, I think we're on number 3, is little frames and things like that to add nerd elements in your home. My next tip for you is in the kitchen, and you can dress up your kitchen space with nerdy elements without, again, them being over the top. One way I love to do this is with nerdy cookbooks. They make these for so many different nerdy things. This one happens to be for World of Warcraft, and it's beautiful, it's hardbound, and it looks really cool. And if I'm cooking with like a lot of butter or oil, sometimes it spatters, and this book just wipes really clean. This was also a gift from a supporter of the channel, and this is from Game of Thrones, Winter is Coming. It is a bottle opener, and I am a huge fan. Another way you can show your nerdy side when people come over is to have beverage containers that show your nerdiness, and then that way you put your nerdiness like right in their hands. So this is a Darth Vader pint glass, in case you didn't notice yet. Well, let's just zoom in here. Me and the man Fred are kind of, well, we're also beer nerds. So anyway, it's kind of fun and a great conversation when people come over to hand them a pint of their favorite cold beer in a really cool nerdy glass, and we have a ton of these. All right, you guys, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite nerdy spaces in my home, and this is not downstairs because, again, I'm trying to keep the nerd stuff separated from the main living space, just because there's 4 people that live in this home, so I need to be respectful of everybody else, and you know what they might want their friends or coworkers or family members to see when they come over. And as much as I love nerd explosions in a home, I should probably, you know, keep them contained. Not that you need to, it's just something I've found works well for me as I've leveled up, and you will too. And you know what, you'll find out what works for you, but this space I love. So I stream, and so for those of you who've watched me on Twitch, you might have seen this background before, but it contains a lot of elements that I think work well in a nerdy home. Really cool art. I actually designed this myself. It's on Displate. I'll put that in the description below. You can actually find descriptions for links for almost all of this stuff in the description below if you are curious about where to find any of it. And already I've posted about this video on Twitter and Instagram, and people are asking me, where did you get that I love you, I know frame? Like, people are already asking questions, so you can get those links. But anyway, this is the space. I have my, what do you call this? Papasan chair, maybe? Hearthstone pillow. This lights up, but it's super bright. And then bookshelves. And we're going to take a second to talk about how to arrange a bookshelf in a way to fit a lot of your nerdy stuff on it, and get a lot more kind of like visual appeal for your space. And also, I made this bookshelf. It's a combination of crates I got from Hobby Lobby. So this is kind of a one-of-a-kind find. But let's talk about bookshelves and how to make them look really cool. So one of my favorite things about bookshelves is you can show multiple fandoms in one space. So here I have a Harry Potter, we've got some World of Warcraft, Red Sonja, more World of Warcraft. Who would have thunk? And what's really cool is a lot of times people just think to put their books straight up. But one thing you can do when you're arranging a bookshelf to make the most out of your nerdy cool things is to turn some of them sideways like I've done here. So in this little nook you can see I've chosen to show off one of my figurines while displaying some of the books upright and then one of them sideways. The statue wouldn't fit very well if I would have put this one upright, so I laid it down so that everything could fit in this one spot. And then if we move on up here, it's probably one of my favorite book nooks. We'll call this a book nook. Not only do I have one book, you know, kind of right side up, but I turned 3 of them sideways because they were too big to go upwards. And then I chose to have one front facing. You see this a lot at like Barnes and Noble. They like to turn different titles forward, especially if they have a cool cover. And I chose to feature this grunt that I got from BlizzCon this year to sit on the books. And this particular book nook I think looks pretty cool. And then over here I feature some War Tatoes from my Twitch channel. You might recognize them from there. So yeah, one way you can really display your fandom is to incorporate your Funko Pops and some of your figurines into your bookshelf as bookends. Big tip. So again, just to wrap this up, do what feels right for you. I've chosen in my home to minimalize my nerdiness in the downstairs open area, but I've chosen to just up here, and I cannot wait to show you. That'll be in another video. I hope you have enjoyed these tips. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you like content like this and to help support the channel. Thanks, you guys.
Get a life, nerd.